And now, What's My Line? Brought to you by Stop at Spray Deodorant. Poof, there goes perspiration. Poof Deodorant Body Powder, the body powder you spray. The Nest Shampoo, the new flowing cream shampoo. All in the first truly functional cosmetic containers, far easier to use. All created by Dr. Jules Montagnier, the famous cosmetic chemist. Time now to enjoy What's My Line?
Now let's meet our What's My Line panel of well-known personalities whose lines you already know. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, pinch hitting for Bennett Cerf, the brilliant young humorist and star of his own television show, Mr. Steve Allen.
Thank you, Dorothy. And on my left, one of the lovely ladies of radio and television, Arlene Francis.
And on my left, the tintillating hit with the scintillating wit, Hal Dimples Block.
Ha!
Thank you, Arlene. And on my left, my favorite news commentator, a man who just gave me an exclusive scoop tonight. He said at 10 o'clock tonight, General Harry S. Vaughan just conceded the election to Eisenhower. To John Bailey.
Thank you. Thank you and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's My Line, presented by Stop It. Once again tonight, we're going to have our cameras close up on some folks who've been nice enough to come and visit us and bring with them some varied and, we hope, unexpected occupations as far as the panel is concerned. They're here to baffle the panel and carry home some prizes. We'll also have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later in the program. But now to start things rolling, it's time for the experts to meet our first challenger, whose job they've got to spot. Will you sign in, please, sir? Tiny? Is that what he said? Tiny Hayden, is that right? Just for the record, Tiny, would you tell us your first name?
Harold.
Harold. And where are you from?
Hudson, New York.
Hudson, New York. Well, now, will you be good enough to take a small trip for me down there in front of the panel so they can get a look at you?
Tiny, would you just laugh a little bit? Because so much of you will have a good time.
I guess it would take too long for me to look at the label in your coat, would it?
Wait till the picture comes
So
out. It'll be
big.
the same thing.
Oh, he's having trouble with the buttons. Oh, he buys his clothes in New York, thank you.
All right. Tiny, will you come over here now and sit down next to me, please? And on the basis of your handwriting and this look that our friends in the panel have had at you, we at this point always give them one free guess as to what your line may be. And we'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's a bouncer.
A bouncer, Mr. Allen.
I think he isn't a bouncer.
Miss Francis.
I think he's a house wrecker.
Mr. Block.
I think he's a piano mover at the White House.
Well, I'm afraid nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Hayden, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But, the panel has to dig. Mr. Hayden, the rules are very simple. Every time you can give the panel, any member of the panel, a no answer, it costs them $5. We keep the record up here. 10 no's, and you will have won the games. All right, now, Mr. Hayden is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Miss Kilgallen.
Do you deal in services, Mr. Hayden?
Yes.
Yes. Do your services apply to men and women?
Yes.
Is there any product involved in what you do? And this is a product that can be used by men and women?
Yes.
Is it anything that might be found in the home?
Yes.
Is it useful?
Is it
Yes.
useful?
Does it also have some other function besides just a practical one? I mean, is it fun?
Yeah, it's fun, I guess. I would say this, that as far as the product is concerned, in and of itself, it can, under proper circumstances, give pleasure, so that it has a function beyond usefulness to that degree.
Is it also ever decorative?
Decorative?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, I'm afraid we can't give you that. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Does the product have any effect on one's health? in any way.
Well, just a moment. We got to have, Tiny and I got to have a small session.
There is a circumstance under which the application of the product might yield beneficial results.
Well, my next question is, what did you say? Might this product be used more normally in one part of the home than another?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but you're sore, huh? All right, let me see. Might it be used in the bedroom?
Oh, that will be 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Might it be used on the first floor of a two-family house?
Yes.
Two family?
Chinese family. Would it be found in the kitchen?
Yes.
Is it something that, in its way, is applied to something else?
That would make it 3 down and 7 to go, I think, Mr. Block.
Tony, have you ever taken the new 123-day diet? Would I ever be able to use a product that you sell?
Yes.
Is it something that perhaps is edible?
Yes.
Is it something that you eat, say, at mealtime?
Good, Hal.
Well, looking at Tiny, I think he eats between meals. Is it something you'd ever eat at dinner?
Yes.
Is it an animal product?
Yes.
Is it a 4-footed animal?
That would make it
Bye.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
I was a little worried.
No 4 foots, huh? Oh, you're the expert. Well, I
Back
quit.
to
Wait a
Tiny.
minute, Mr. Block. I made a mistake. My expert says this is 4-footed. He's right, too, now
Is
that I
it,
recollect.
is it a small animal?
Yes.
Can we have a conference?
You may have 20 seconds for a
What kind
comment.
of an animal isn't John sure of? In the
I think
The only one that's possible is maybe it's a caterpillar.
I would guess it's something that stands up.
On
Something
2
that
feet.
stands up
On 2 feet, and maybe...
And
it-
these are hands.
You mean like bars?
Well, I'm
Lars?
sorry that the
No.
20 seconds for consultation is up. Will you go ahead now, Mr. Block?
Well, I take it this animal keeps in contact with the ground rather than the air.
Well, I was saying he has a definite contact with the ground, yes.
This animal really gets around, doesn't it? Is this animal edible by children, too? Is
Yes.
it usually eaten by children?
Yes.
Is it something that is used as a side dish rather than the main course?
No, that would be 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
This then could be the pièce de résistance of a
Oh,
meal.
mais oui.
Is this larger than a baby chicken?
That would make it 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Allen. It is not larger than a baby chicken.
Oh. We haven't clarified, have we, that it... is it about the prospect of it being a fowl? Is that still up in the air?
That's everything's still up in the air, as a matter of fact.
Except the fowl.
Including me.
Well, I guess I'll have to eliminate that point. Is it... 4 feet. Oh. Well, that takes care of that. Unless it's 2 of them.
You may have to forfeit the question.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you all about 1 minute more to get this, because I don't think you're even close. Go ahead, Mr. Allen.
Snails?
No, they
No
haven't got
conference has
feet.
been
You
called.
don't have
Mr. Block.
feet. Does it have fur?
Does it have fur?
Yes.
That would make it 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
It does have skin.
Hey,
It's good for anything except eating.
Yes?
Is the product, when you buy it, do you buy it the whole thing, or is just part of it eaten?
Well, I think that...
Well, I mean, of course, you don't eat the head or anything.
Well, it's hard to answer yes or no. I will say that normally we, as lay people, would buy a part of the thing, wouldn't you say?
And when you buy it, would you buy it at a meat market?
Could we have a conference?
Yes, Miss...
May we have a conference?
You have
Dorothy?
10
That's my
seconds.
idea.
Ask if it's very popular in France. And would
Snail?
you eat it with garlic? No, not snails.
Frogs.
Frogs.
Frog.
Yeah, I bet you that's it.
Is it very popular in France, Dorothy said?
Yes.
And does it belong to the frog family?
Yes.
And is it a frog?
Yes.
Congratulations, Dorothy Kilgallen.
Now, what does Mr. Hyden have to do with frogs?
What does he do with them?
Yeah.
Teaches them to jump.
Well, if he's in business for himself, maybe he breeds them.
Breeds the frogs. No, I'm afraid we can't do that.
Doesn't-
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Block.
Does he sell them?
Yes, but he does something else that you have to get.
What else can you do to a frog? Do you can them and sell them and manufacture them?
No, I'm going to have to give it 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Does he import them?
That makes it 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Allen.
Does he sell them in a pet shop or something?
That makes it 10 down.
Does he fish for them?
Who catches them?
What is his line?
Spends better than 8 months of each year up in our Catskill Mountains catching frogs. So that we can all have frog's legs. Isn't that nice? Well, now, see, you have won the full prize, Mr. Hyden. May we thank you for being our guest. It was a lot of fun having you with us, Tom. Good night. All right, panel, let's see what we can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, ma'am? Kay Buell. How are you? Is it Miss or Mrs.? It's Mrs., Mr. Block.
No questions.
And where are you from? Erie, Pennsylvania. Would you, as is our custom, please take a small walk down in front of the panel, please?
Are you hiding your nails from me?
Wedding rings.
Oh, wedding rings.
All right. Mrs. Buell, will you come over here and sit down next to me now? And on the basis of that fine, firm, strong handwriting of yours and the quick trip that you took, we give the panel 1 free guess as to your line, and we'll begin the free guesses as usual with Miss Kilgallen.
Well, she's so pretty, I think she must be something incongruous, like a truant officer.
Mr. Allen.
I guess she's a model. I'll play it straight.
Miss Fancy.
Well, I think she is a conductor on a trolley car.
Mr. Block.
I think she's a secretary and she's on her last lap.
Well, I'm afraid nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mrs. Buell, and at the same time, we'll tell them what her line is. But, panel, you're going to have to guess. You heard me explain the rules, Mrs. Buell. You know, every no answer, $5. We keep the record up here, 10 no's, and you've won the game. We'll give them one last bit of help. Mrs. Buell is self-employed. With that, we'll begin the general questioning with Steve Allen.
You deal in services, Mrs. Buell?
Yes, I do.
I see. Is there an end product of any kind involved in it?
Yes.
I guess eventually I'll find out. Right now, I don't know. Is this product, could you call it in any way attractive? Since it's attractive, I assume it's not a necessity. Could I couldn't? No, could I get along without it? I could. Could it be found in a part of the home?
Yes.
Would you be apt to find one or more of these objects in my living room? It's attractive. If friends came to visit me, would they admire it?
There is a condition under which friends who came to visit you would have cause or reason to admire it.
Maybe I'm on the wrong track. Is it useful? In the living room, have we... Yeah. Could you sit on it? And I assume it has legs.
It has legs? That would be 1 down and 9 to go. It has not legs. Miss Francis.
Is that what its main usefulness is, to sit on it?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Block.
Is it by any chance worn?
Yes.
Is it worn below the neck? Is it worn below the waist?
Yes.
Here's where I get in trouble. Is it worn above the ankles?
Yes.
Is it usually worn by the feminine sex rather than the...
3 down and 7 to go.
It's not a
Mr.
bustle.
Block. All right, Miss Kilgallen.
Then it would not be incongruous for Steve to be wearing this in his living room.
Yes, it would not be incongruous under normal circumstances.
Would he also wear it in any other part of the house?
Yes.
Would it be even more appropriate to wear this somewhere else?
Now, I don't think we can say that is true. Its appropriateness is almost universal to the degree that it is used. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen.
It has been established, Hal, has it, that a man would be more apt to wear it? Is that what your question?
No.
No more
it has not.
consultation at the block.
Richard,
No
we wouldn't wear it.
consultation has been called. All right, continue, Mr. Allen.
I'm very sorry. Is it an inexpensive object, like under $5, that sort of thing?
Yes.
Could you buy it in the average department store?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, and I'm going to give you 1 more minute. Miss Francis.
Is it protective in any way?
Yes, we'd have to say it is to a degree.
Would it belong in the underwear world?
Yes, it would belong in the underwear world.
Would it be warm?
Well, you mean warmer than normal, would you say?
I mean, would you wear it at during special seasons?
That would be 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Block.
Has it anything to do with something like shorts?
Yes.
Something like shorts. Is it worn by both men and women?
That would be 7 down and 3 to go.
No, I didn't say.
Well, I know we just said no. It is not worn by men and women. That makes it 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Kilgallen, in 20 seconds.
Is it anything that's bulletproof?
Waterproof?
Bulletproof.
Bulletproof? I'm afraid that's 8 down and 2 to go. I'm afraid we're going to have to throw in the towel. It's a very difficult one to get, panel, so don't feel bad about it. Mrs. Buell hand paints men's shorts.
Hand paints them?
Hand paints. So
When can I come in for a sitting?
So you have won by default and win the full prize, Mrs. Buell, and thanks very much for being our guest. And now, in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we'll introduce our mystery guest. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My friends in the panel would most certainly recognize our famous guest on sight, so they've been provided with blindfolds. Are they all in place, panel?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? In the case of our mystery challenger, we always get right down to the business of the evening. So we'll begin the general questioning with Mr. Block.
From the reception, I would figure it's either Dwight Eisenhower or Marilyn Monroe. Are you primarily in pictures?
That means no. That's 1 down, 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Aren't we even going to be permitted to know the sex of this creature?
Well,
Couldn't you tell from that?
No.
That's a male moose.
Are you, if not primarily in pictures, in some branch of the entertainment business?
It may turn out to be Halloween.
That's a qualified yes.
Do you appear on television? All right, I'll take the plunge. Are you female?
That's 2 down and 8 to go. Mr. Allen.
Well, let's see. Are you in any way, have you had your throat checked lately? Are you in any way connected with children's programs of any kind?
With children's programs, Mr. Allen?
Yes.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
I'm sorry, but I missed it. Did Dorothy ask if you were primarily on television, or was it pictures? I'm sorry, I did miss that.
No, actually, the question was asked as to whether our guest was primarily in pictures. The answer was no. It was asked if he was in television, and the answer was yes.
Yes. Are you, well, since you received such a round of applause, you must be seen a great deal on television. Is that possible?
That's the best tone he's given out so far, I must say.
Well, are you a comedian?
I don't think
What?
so. That means no, I don't think so?
Oh.
Well, some people think so, he said, but I'm afraid we can't classify him as a comedian. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Block.
When he blew that meant that some people think so?
Yeah.
Well, when you got to blow, is our guest star under 60? Now, what does that mean?
Yes.
Oh, well, that I understand. Are you under 50?
That's 5 down and 5 to go. That's no. All right, Miss Kilgallen.
He's over 50.
He's not a comedian.
Do you have anything to do with music?
That's 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Allen, and I'm going to ask our guest now to use his own voice, because you've had a 6...
You mean that isn't his voice?
No, that isn't his voice. All right, Mr. Allen.
I'd like to ask... Are you the head man of whatever program or whatever it is you're connected with?
Some people do not think so.
But I would say that any outsider would say yes, and very strongly so, Mr. Allen. He is the head man.
Are you employed on this network? What network is this, by the way?
This is CBS, and that will make it 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you employed on one special network? Yes? You are not a comedian. You are not in music. Would you be considered in any way an actor?
I don't think that our guest would become under the general classification of actor as we know it in television. So that would make it 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Block.
Are you in public life, though?
Well, there's great reputation.
I mean, do people know him by sight?
Yes, he would be known by sight and also for his work.
Well, are you by any chance a writer?
Well, I would think we could give you a yes on that, although our guest with modesty said some people don't think so. You go ahead, Mr. Block.
Oh, there's got to be Ernest Hemingway.
That would make it 9 down and 1 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you, in any sense, a newscaster? Are you a columnist, too?
Went back to his home.
Are you ever seen at table 50 in the Stork Club?
No.
Who is it, Miss Dorothy?
Walter Winchell.
Walter Winchell.
How can you smell?
I think one thing that we ought to give the panel, Walter, if it's all right with you, is a sample, now that they have their blinds off, of your talents as a kazoo player.
We tried to get a Donald Duck thing, and this is the nearest thing John could get.
You know, you sound much better that way.
To think that I sat here letting you give me the Bronx cheer for 5 minutes.
Well, actually, there's a very nice chore for me to perform. It's not only a pleasure to have you with us, Walter.
Thank you.
But having you with us also gives us an opportunity to, in the name of our producers and our program, What's My Line, to present you with a check for the Damon Runyon Memorial Fund for $1,000 to carry on the work of
Walter, can we say that we love your show on television, too, and I hope you're on it for an awful long time.
I've testified many times about what I think of this show.
Thank you very much, Walter, for being our guest.
You always do that.
On What's My Line. And next week at this same time, our panel of experts will be asked, what's my line by this man? Would you know what his occupation is? Could you spot his line? Well, for the answers to these and a good many other interesting questions, be sure to be with us again next Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when once again, Stopette invites you to play What's My Line? For other localities, check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series. Until then, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Steve.
Good night, Arlene.
Good night, Al.
And this is John Daly.
And good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.